My beloved child, have you ever wondered why your heart has felt unsettled lately, as if something is shifting inside you, something you cannot quite name? There are mornings when you wake up with a hollow feeling even though everything around you seems intact. Your job, your family, your friends, your daily needs. And then there are nights in the stillness when a quiet unease hums beneath the peaceful surface of your life like an underground current. You cannot quite define it, but something seems to be waiting, perhaps a door, a turning point, or a whisper from the deep. Life is not only what the eyes can see, but also the silent signals God sends us every day. Do you feel them? This is how I often speak to you, not with noise or haste, but with intention. I don't need to shake the heavens to deliver a message. I only need you to be still enough to hear. In every passing conversation, in a sudden monetary blessing, in a loving gaze cast your way, these could all be signals. But sadly, you have been too busy, caught up in to-do lists, others' expectations and worries buried in bank balances. You've forgotten how to listen with your soul. Yesterday I sent you a sign. A sudden phone call, an unexpected letter, a delayed transaction, or simply a stirring discomfort as you glanced at your end-of-month expenses. In whatever form, it was a gentle warning, an invitation to transition, not to frighten you, but to awaken you from the rhythms you've grown too used to. My dear child, a wind is blowing from the horizon, one you cannot yet see with your physical eyes. It carries not just a shift in finances, but a transformation of your soul and your life's journey. Finances are only the first key unlocking a greater door, one where you are not merely surviving, but thriving in true abundance. But because of that, the enemy of your soul has taken notice. He does not worry when you are drowning in lack, for lack often blinds you to hope. He only starts to tremble when you rise, when you begin to hope again, when you break free from stagnation to embrace something new. You are at a pivotal moment, a crossroads where you must choose to keep believing only in what you can see, or to step forward in faith. To trust that what is coming is not merely the result of your own striving, but a reward from the one who sees every silent tear and hidden dream. I know you've been praying, sometimes with words, sometimes only in weary sighs. I have heard it all. And you must understand this: every great blessing comes with great responsibility. You are being called into a new season, not one of mere survival, but of becoming a blessing to others. But remember, not everyone will understand this. Some will tell you, stop dreaming, or be more realistic, that life is supposed to be hard. But you were not born merely to struggle. You were created to be light and salt in this world. You do not work just to pay bills, you are called to live with purpose. This is not a lesson about money. It is a lesson about trust, about where you choose to stand when doors begin to open. Will you say, I was lucky? Or will you bow your head in gratitude for being chosen, loved, and led? And don't think that I desire you to live in scarcity to prove your faithfulness. No, I desire you to live in abundance enough to help others. But first you must learn to manage what you already have. If you are not faithful with a little, how can you be entrusted with more? You have prayed for a miracle. What I send may not be a dazzling display, but rather small, unmistakable signs, quiet yet full of meaning, like seeds hidden yet growing beneath the surface. The question is not whether it will come, but whether you recognize it and prepare. In the coming weeks, doors will open unexpectedly. New opportunities, fresh connections, even unfamiliar challenges will arise. Don't be quick to dismiss them. Ask me and I will show you the way. I am not only the giver of blessings, I am your guide, your father, your companion. And as you begin to walk, fears will murmur, am I capable enough? What if I fail? What if I'm mistaken? But I say to you, pause, breathe, and remember that I am the one who opens the way, not you. I would never open a door without preparing you to step through it. You are not walking alone. I have gone before you. My child, how many times a day do you pass by what I've sent unaware? The little things, a stranger's smile in a rushed crowd, a gentle breeze when your heart is heavy, a passing comment that answers a question buried in your soul. You often think I only speak through thunder or grand events, but I rarely speak with noise. I choose the simple things because only a quiet soul can hear me. Just like when I called Elijah out of the cave after the storm, not in the wind, not in the earthquake, but in a gentle whisper, 1 Kings 19:1-2. That's where I dwell in deep silence, felt by hearts that slow down and truly listen. You keep asking me, why can't I hear your voice? Yet you won't stop, won't quiet the loud thoughts, the stress about work, the future finances, or others' expectations. You've let these things fill your mind so completely that there's no room left for my voice. You think I'm silent, but I'm still whispering, still calling you through every ordinary moment. I have never forsaken you. It's the noise of the world that has drowned me out. Beloved, if each morning you would pause and sit still before me, you would see I have always been there. I don't need long pious prayers or perfect words. I only need your heart, genuine and open. Sometimes even a sincere sigh is a prayer I treasure. And sometimes I will answer with a quiet thought or a verse that suddenly comes alive, speaking directly to your soul. These are not coincidences. They are my signs, reminders that I am still listening and leading. But I know you're tired. I see your effort. Sometimes you get lost in the whirlwind of life and forget which direction you're going. I don't blame you for that. I am your father, not your supervisor. I see the weariness in your eyes at night. And even when you say nothing, falling asleep with tangled thoughts, I still surround you with my gentle presence. Even if you can't hear me, I'm whispering to angels to guard your rest. You don't need to be strong all the time, you just need to be honest. I don't seek perfect actions, I seek a heart that turns back to me. You may wonder, how do I know if a sign is truly from God and not just my imagination? I understand your confusion. But remember this, my signs are always accompanied by deep peace, never anxiety. When I want you to act, I will bring clarity to your soul. I am not a God of chaos. My signs are rarely rushed or pressured. They come with a gentle prompting, like a hand softly guiding yours step by step. Don't fear being wrong, because if your heart sincerely seeks me, I will never let you go astray. In spiritual life, the ability to listen is more important than doing many things for me. Some do great works but forget to ask if I wanted them done. They believe action is faith, but true faith begins by sitting still and listening. Like Mary, who chose the better part by sitting at Jesus' feet while Martha busied herself with tasks. You too must choose the better part. Sit, open your heart, let me speak. Learn to discern between my voice and the voice of the world. The world speaks in haste, fear, and worry. I speak in gentleness, encouragement, and hope. The world shouts now or never, but I teach you in due season. The world tells you to take, but I invite you to receive. Once you learn this difference, you will recognize me in every breath of your day. So, my beloved, do not chase dramatic miracles to prove I am near. Seek my presence in the smallest of things. Just as a drop of water can reflect the entire sky, a single moment of silence is enough for your soul to feel my greatness. I am the one who created oceans, yet I am also the one who shaped petals with wind. If I can do that, then I can reach you even in the seemingly ordinary. My child, I know you have grown so used to lack that you've begun to see it as your permanent story. You look around and see others easily receive the very things you've prayed for all these years, and your heart quietly aches. You don't say it, but I see it. I hear even the questions you're too afraid to name, the doubts buried deep. Has God forgotten me? Is my prayer too weak to reach heaven? But I say this to you in truth, I have never taken my eyes off you. Not for a single day have I overlooked your needs, your longings, or the tears you've cried in silence. I know you've endured seasons that felt endless. Seasons where every morning felt like a battle, not with the world, but with your own hope. Times when you sat alone in the dark, wondering why none of your efforts bore fruit. But do you know this? Every season of lack is not the final chapter. It is the prelude to a greater song I am composing for your life. Lack has not come to destroy you, but to soften the soil of your heart, preparing it for a far greater harvest. You may be standing at the end of a weary journey, unaware that you are closer than ever to a brand new beginning. I have seen you press on even when every door seemed shut. I have seen you give when you barely had enough for yourself. I have seen you turn away bitterness and hold on to a sincere prayer. None of these acts have gone unnoticed. Every seed of perseverance you've sown in tears I have gathered in my hands, and I say to you, the harvest is nearer than you think. My child, do not let your current circumstances cause you to withdraw your faith. Don't let unpaid bills or dreams that have yet to take shape make you question my faithfulness. I do not operate by your calendar, but I have never been late. When I am silent, I am not absent. While you wait, I am working. Some blessings take time to ripen, just as sweet fruit needs sun, wind, and rain. I am not an indifferent father. I am the one with a plan, and my timing is always for your good. You often think I am testing you through lack, but in truth I am nurturing your growth. If I bless you before you are ready, it could harm you instead of help you. I love you too deeply to give you something that would cause me to lose you. So in those days when your soul feels dry, know that I am tilling your soil, digging deep, so that when the season comes, your roots of faith will be strong enough to hold the abundance I will pour out. Look back and you will see you've come farther than you ever imagined. You have overcome things you once believed would break you. If seasons of lack have softened your heart, instead of hardening it, that is proof my grace is still alive within you. That softness is the sign that hope still dwells in you. And I work mightily through those who refuse to give up hope even in silence. My beloved, what you need now is not more energy to keep running, but a quiet place to pause and remember that you are not alone. I am holding your hand, and what lies ahead is not the cliff you fear, but a wide field being opened before you. Though today you may still feel the struggle, I already see the day you will rise steady and whole, not just for yourself, but as a source of provision for others. For those who have walked through lack know how to value abundance, how to steward resources wisely, and how to give not out of obligation, but out of gratitude. You are so very close, closer than you think. Don't let go now. Don't let the darkness make you forget the promise I planted in your heart. You have endured enough to mature. You have lost enough to understand the value of abundance, and I will not let those things go to waste. Keep your heart tender and your ears open. This season of lack will no longer define your life. It will become your testimony to my power as you step into your new season of blessing. Do you know, sometimes I delay the opening of a door, not because I do not love you, but because I want your heart to learn the difference between the blessing and the giver. If I gave you everything you asked for right away, you might forget that the most precious thing is not provision, but communion with me. In the lack, you've learned to seek me, not just for what I can give, but for my very presence. And I, who love you, treasure that more than anything. For the more you seek me in your emptiness, the more you will remember me in your fullness. So trust me just a little longer. Stand firm one more day. If you have come to the edge of exhaustion, it may also be the moment your feet step into rest. This season of scarcity is coming to an end, and I will not only bring it to a close, I will renew you through it. One day you will tell this story not with complaint, but with gratitude. And in that moment, you will realize the days that once seemed meaningless were the days in which I wrote the most beautiful chapters of your life, written in invisible ink, only revealed in the light of faith. My child, I have seen your tireless efforts. You've rushed toward every opportunity, trying to squeeze every drop of time and strength to change your circumstances. You've told me you trust me, yet your heart still whispers with worry. Will it be enough? Have I done enough? Will I be left behind? My precious one, I know every heavy breath within your soul. But today, I want you to hear this clearly. True success does not come from how much you do, but from what you allow me to do within you. Grace, not effort, is the true foundation of your prosperity. I do not disregard your efforts. I love your diligence. But I need you to understand, effort without grace becomes a burden, while grace brings forth results even when they are not instantly visible. I do not oppose your hard work, but I want you to know where to stop the moment where you must step aside so I can step in. There are things I will not allow you to achieve through your own strength, because if you succeed solely by your effort, you might forget me. And I love you too much to let that happen. Remember what I said, for it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this not from yourselves. It is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. Ephesians 2:8-9. If salvation, the greatest gift, cannot be earned through effort, then why believe that temporary blessings come through labor? True success is a gift, not a reward. It is the flow of grace to the humble, not a trophy for the competitive. Look at Gideon, a man who saw himself as weak and insignificant. When I called him to deliver Israel, he immediately protested, "I am the least in my tribe, and my family is the smallest." But I did not choose Gideon for his strength. I chose him because he dared to step out in faith when I spoke. And I did something that confounded reason. I told him to reduce his army from 3,2,000 to just 300. Why? Because I didn't want Israel to think they saved themselves. Victory had to bear the mark of grace, not human effort. You too are like Gideon in the beginning, quick to doubt yourself, to look at the circumstances and say, "How can this be?" But I did not choose you because you were strong. I chose you because I want to display my strength through your weakness. When you step out in trembling faith, I will do what you never imagined. I will use 300 instead of 3,000. I will fill the nets after one cast. I will turn little into much and the impossible into glory, because what I seek from you is not might but trust. So, my beloved, do not measure your worth by your productivity. Do not compare your journey to someone else's. Do not let the achievements of others blind you to what I am quietly doing within you. In my kingdom, success is not measured by fame or profit, but by faithfulness and humility. When you believe I am your provider, you won't need to strive. When you know I am the one who opens doors, you won't need to push your way through. And when you believe my grace is sufficient, you'll no longer fear being left behind. Sometimes I will bring you to the end of yourself so you can learn to surrender. Not to break you, but to let you experience a kind of success that doesn't drain you, doesn't fill you with anxiety, and doesn't need to be wrestled for. I don't just give you good things, I give you the peace to sustain them. What you need is not more talent, but more rest in my grace. When you pause and know that I am God, you will see my hand lifting you in ways you cannot explain. And when the breakthrough comes, remember it is my work, not your accomplishment. Keep your heart full of gratitude and humility. Do not let praise lift you onto a pedestal, but let it lead you deeper into intimacy with me. For I will take you even further, but I don't want to lose you to pride along the way. I will never allow my blessing to become the very thing that distances you from my presence. Let your success become a song of worship to me, not a throne where you sit alone. My child, I have seen how you've prayed earnestly for breakthrough, for blessing, for a new and abundant season your heart has longed for. You desire to step out of lack and into the promised land of provision, where you no longer need to worry about every dollar, every tomorrow. You wish it could become reality, and I, your loving Father, desire it for you even more than you do. But today, my beloved, I must remind you of this before I entrust you with more. I must ensure you've learned to steward what you already have. I do not bless you just to see what you will do with the blessing. I teach you how to live in a way worthy of the blessing even before it arrives. For I am a God of order. No one builds a house without first laying the foundation. And the same is true for you. If the blessing comes, but your heart is not grounded and your wisdom not matured, that very blessing could become a burden. I do not want what I give you to tire you or pull you away from me. So before I pour out in full, I will train your hands to hold the fullness. Before I open the door, I teach you how to walk through it with awareness. Look closely at your life. I have given you time. How are you using it? I have placed a small portion of finances into your hands. Are you handling them with obedience and wisdom? I have brought relationships into your life. Are you nurturing them with humility, faithfulness, and gratitude? You often believe you would do better if you had more, but the truth is how you manage the little determines your ability to carry the much. I am not watching just to score you, I am guiding you, so that when you do step into greater blessings, you will not lose yourself in what I give. My child, a servant who never learned to care for a small bowl will surely break a precious vessel. I've seen many who received favor suddenly, yet because their souls were unprepared, they lost it all, and worse, they lost themselves. I love you too much to let that happen. I want you to be blessed and still have peace. I want you to have abundance but not pride. I want to elevate you but see you still kneel to wash others' feet. Do not mistake delay for punishment. It is the time I use to train your heart. When the blessing comes, there won't be time to rehearse your response. So this time, this waiting season is where you train that response: humility, obedience, self-control, and readiness for increase. I am not only the one who opens doors, I am the one who teaches you how to live inside the room beyond those doors. For true blessing is not only about receiving it, is about sustaining, growing, and giving it in the right way. You used to think being blessed was a destination, but I want you to understand, blessing is a journey, and stewardship is the key to walking it. You are not just a receiver, you are called to be a steward of grace. A steward doesn't live by emotion but by principle. They don't spend impulsively but know how to save, invest, and give wisely to the right people in the right places. I don't just want you to survive, I want you to become a vessel through which my blessings flow to others. So begin with what you have. Whether it's a small amount of money, a limited schedule, or an unfinished promise, manage it faithfully. Don't wait until you have more to live wisely. The time is now. This is the training ground. What you do today is the measure I use to prepare you for tomorrow. I do not seek perfection, but I always entrust more to those who are faithful with less. And when you do it out of love for me, not pressure, I will add to you. Not because I must, but because it delights me to see you grow. My beloved child, I will fill your sky when I see that you have learned to treasure the first drops of rain. And when the downpour comes, you will not be surprised, for your heart has been made ready. The blessing will not overwhelm you because beforehand you learned to live as one who already had not, as one who was lacking. I am preparing you for great things, not through leaps and bounds, but through small steps of faithfulness. And I, your Father, will joyfully give you all things, not only because you asked, but because you are prepared to hold them, grow them, and use them rightly in my name. My child, understand that stewardship is not merely a skill, it is a spiritual posture. When you steward the little well, you are declaring that you trust me as your provider and that you do not take lightly anything I place in your hands. Your attitude toward the little is evidence of the faith you place in me. And I watch not as a strict master, but as a loving father. Every father desires to teach his child how to live wisely before entrusting him with greater inheritance. I don't just want you to be wealthy, I want you to live with responsibility, with purpose, and with influence. So my child, do not take lightly the lessons of this moment. When you learn to steward your time amidst the chaos, I will broaden your reach. When you learn to steward your mind amidst the pressures, I will entrust you with peace no one can steal. And when you learn to steward grace without turning it into complacency, I will continue to pour it out, because you've proven yourself not only blessed, but a keeper of blessings. Be ready, my beloved, for what I am about to entrust to you is greater than what you have prayed for, and it is in today's faithful stewardship that I am laying the foundation for that day. My child, I know the world is full of invitations. There are opportunities that shine brightly like diamonds catching the sun, dazzling, enticing, seemingly everything you've prayed for. But not every open door is from me. Not everything that looks good belongs to me. There are things that appear as blessings but are actually traps wrapped in convenience. There are doors that do not draw you closer to me but slowly pull you away little by little without you even noticing. I do not say this to make you suspicious of everything but to keep your spirit alert. For the enemy of your soul, he is cunning. He does not often use obvious evil to bring you down but choices that seem right. He does not always come with a terrifying face, but sometimes as a better, faster, more efficient offer, yet without me in it. He doesn't need a strong wind to push you off course, just a gentle nudge that shifts your heart slightly from my presence. A small drift today can become a great distance over time. Discernment. My child, is one of the greatest gifts you can ask of me. Not intelligence, not strategy, but a heart sensitive to. My voice, one that knows to pause when there is no peace to decline, when an opportunity feels too enticing, and to wait when I have not said now. What makes someone strong in faith is not how many doors they walk through, but how many they dare to walk past because they hear the still small voice inside saying, "Not yet, not there." There will be times when everything seems right, logical, convenient, and affirmed by many, Yet deep inside there is a hesitation. I send that feeling as a silent road sign. It is not fear, it is the warning of the Holy Spirit asking you to stop and seek me before you proceed. Don't quickly dismiss it as mere anxiety. Learn to honor those signals within. For those who live in discernment are not led by appearances, they are led by me, the one who sees the path your eyes cannot. I've seen your regrets over hasty decisions. I've seen you take the easier path instead of the right one, and I do not condemn you, my child. I was there when you stumbled, and it was I who lifted you up. But I also hope you learn from those moments. I don't want you to dwell in regret. I want you to walk in spiritual maturity. Every time you choose to pause and listen for me, rather than rush with the crowd, you grow in the wisdom of heaven. My beloved, do not trade wisdom for speed. The world pushes act now, don't miss out, but I often whisper, wait a moment, look again. I am not afraid of missed opportunities, I am the creator of them. If you turn down something that is not right, I will prepare something better, something right and never late. When you can stand firm amid glittering temptations, you are laying an unshakable foundation. Not because you are stubborn, but because you know what truly comes from me, and what comes from me never steals your peace. Let me be the one who holds your hand in every decision. Do not let ambition lead you ahead of me. You do not need to knock on every door to be chosen. You only need to stand where I have placed you, and I will open the door meant just for you. And when it opens, you will know, because it will not come with anxiety, pressure, or doubt. It will come with clarity, with inner confirmation, and you will walk through it not in fear, but with confidence that I, your Father, have prepared the way. My child, the closer you draw to a new season, the more counterfeit doors will appear. So do not let the light of success outshine my light. I am the light that never dims, never changes. If you keep your eyes fixed on me, you will not be deceived, no matter how many glittering choices the world lays before you. And if ever you take a wrong step, do not be afraid. I am still there, ready to lead you back. For what matters most to me is not that you always get it right, but that you return to me when you've gone astray. This is what I want you to learn. My child, discernment is not the fear of the future, but obedience in the present. When you choose to wait for my confirmation before moving forward, it is not weakness, it is spiritual strength. Some will tell you, if you don't seize the moment, you'll miss the opportunity. But I say to you, those who trust in me will never regret waiting. Waiting is not wasted time. It is the time I use to refine you, to sharpen your discernment so you won't just succeed, but you'll succeed in the right direction. You must also remember that some closed doors are not failures. They are my mercy, shielding you from what was never meant for you. You may have wept over a missed opportunity, blamed yourself for not being fast enough, skilled enough, or impressive enough. But when you look back, you will see that I stopped you at just the right moment, to save you from a wrong decision. You thought you were losing, but I was winning on your behalf. What I protected you from today, you will thank me for tomorrow. Believe this, you don't need to chase doors, because the door from me will come to you when your heart is in the right place. I don't need you to strive to hold a position. I need you to guard your heart, tender, humble, and attentive. And when the time is right, I will open something no one can shut. I will lead you where you cannot enter by your own strength. Not so you can boast, but so you'll know it was the mark of grace, the result of discernment, and the reward for one who did not rush but waited for me amid 1,000 other voices. My child, I know you are hoping that a new season is near where everything you've prayed for will take shape. I also see that a flicker of hope has begun to rise within you. The hope that when you step into blessing, when you are lifted up, those around you will celebrate with you, love you more, and support you more. But today I must tell you something that may sober you. Yet it is a truth you need in order to mature. When you begin to walk into prosperity, when the light of grace shines brightly on your life, it is also the time when the darkness in others will be most exposed. Not everyone rejoices when you are elevated. Some who stood close during your low seasons may feel threatened when they see you rise. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because the light you carry forces them to confront the stagnation in their own lives. And you will begin to see reactions you never saw before. Silence, instead of congratulations, suspicion instead of support, and even whispered words you never imagined would come from those dearest to you. But my child, do not be alarmed. This does not mean you are on the wrong path. It means you are on the right one. I told you in my word that a man's enemies will be the members of his own household, Matthew 10:36, not to make you live in suspicion, but to prepare you. A change in season doesn't only transform your circumstances, it reveals the hearts around you, and great blessing often comes with a certain solitude. But do not be mistaken, solitude is not rejection. It is the moment I pull you away from harmful influences, so you may soar without being tethered by what you couldn't see while walking. My child, when you are given light, that very light will expose what was hidden around you. A lamp not only guides, it causes the insects to scatter. When I lift you up, that elevation not only transforms you, it forces the environment around you to reveal its true nature. Pretense cannot survive long in a realm of truth, and I allow this to happen, not to wound you, but to teach you to discern. You must learn this: not everyone who starts the journey with you is meant to go far with you. Some will say you've changed. Others may accuse you of pride or distance. But I know your heart, and if you remain humble, if you keep loving even when misunderstood, then you are walking rightly. Do not shrink back from what I've given just to please others. Do not apologize for being blessed. Do not dim your light just to avoid discomfort. Light does not apologize to darkness. It simply continues to shine and leaves me to deal with whatever is exposed in its glow. You will feel lonely at times, especially when you begin to say no to relationships you once tolerated, to conversations that no longer feed your soul, to environments that no longer align with the vision I've placed in you. You may be called cold. But my child, that is not hardness. It is healthy distinction. A plane cannot take off if it remains anchored to the ground. And I will teach you how to cut cords, not with bitterness, but with peace. To let go without harm. To walk away yet still carry love. Beloved one, trust that I will replace every loss with something better. I will send true companions, not those drawn by what's in your hands, but those who see what I've placed in your spirit. I never leave you alone on a great journey. But before I send the right people, I need you to release the wrong ones. I need you to stop clinging to the familiar just because it feels safe. For familiarity can be a subtle trap that keeps you in the comfort zone. And I have not called you to live safely. I've called you to live by faith. My beloved, do not let the changes in others' behavior divert your faith, and do not try to hold on to everything out of fear of losing. Sometimes I use the silence of others to teach you that my approval is enough. You do not need the crowd to confirm your path. One word from your Father is enough to keep walking, and I will always be right beside you even when every other voice fades away. For I am not only the one who opens the way, I am the one who walks it with you. My child, I have heard your prayers. You've asked for provision, for abundance. You long to be free from the lack that has clung to you for years. And I, your generous Father, do not withhold it. In fact, I delight in giving you more than you imagine. But today I want to place a new perspective in you about increase. I do not bless you just so you can say I have more than yesterday. I bless you so you may understand that my blessings always carry purpose. I do not fill your pockets to sit still. I fill them so that through you I may reach others. Do you remember what I told Abraham? I did not say, only I will bless you, but also you will be a blessing to many nations. Genesis 1:2-2. That is my heart when I give to anyone, not to store but to flow. Just as a river does not keep water for itself but brings life to every field it touches, so I desire you to be a flow of blessing, not a closed reservoir. Because when you become a conduit, I will keep pouring without ceasing. My child, do not let worldly thinking limit your heart. The world teaches you to accumulate, to protect, to hoard. But I teach you to give, to share, to release. Because I know that a gift given at the right time in the right place to the right person will not only open a door for them, it will open one for you as well. When you dare to use your resources, time, and even your experiences to help others, you multiply my presence on earth. Every time you give without seeking recognition but driven by love, you are doing the work of one who is sent, an ambassador of grace. But I also know the fear inside you. If I give, what will I have left? I do not fault you for this question. But I want you to remember this. I never give just enough. I always give in abundance. True increase does not leave you lacking. It fills you so that you may pour out. And when you begin to live as someone who has enough to give, you no longer live in fear of loss, but in the confidence of one who knows they are partnering with heaven. My child, begin with the small things: a shared meal with someone in need, a timely word of encouragement, a quiet act of help. These things may go unnoticed by others, but I see them all. I remember every moment you chose to think of others rather than yourself. And when I see your heart has learned the joy of becoming a source of blessing, I will broaden your influence. You do not need to seek to stand out. When you live with an open heart, it is I who will cause your name to be remembered, not as someone wealthy, but as one who carries the life of heaven. My child, some believe that the more they are blessed, the more freedom they gain. But I tell you, the more you are blessed, the more responsibility you carry. The responsibility to guard your motives, to not let goodness become a cover for selfishness. The responsibility to step beyond comfort zones to reach lives that need you. I did not call you to be the savior, but I did call you to be a witness. A witness that I am the giver, the provider, and that grace never stops with one person but always seeks a way to spread. Oh, my child, I know there are times you feel weary, thinking, I am not even enough for myself. How could I give to others? But it is precisely when you choose to give amid your own lack that you are entering heaven's logic, where giving always leads to abundance. When you dare to offer what little you have, like the widow with her 2 small coins, you create the space for me to do the miraculous. I do not seek quantity, I seek the heart. And I always perform miracles through hearts that place others above their own comfort. And finally, my beloved, remember this: everything I give is for eternal purpose. You may not fully see the meaning behind a word of kindness, an act of help, or a shared moment, but in heaven these are never forgotten. They are not recorded as achievements, but as the marks of one whose heart reflects mine. The more you live for others, the closer you draw to me. And I, your Father, will never stop pouring into a vessel that remains willing to be poured out. My child, there are days when each step feels like a gamble. You cannot see the way, you do not know the future, and you sense that if you stop, your heart may slowly die in fear. Still, you move forward with your soul torn between hope and doubt. My beloved, I see every second you choose to walk on without the light. I hear every whispered word. I don't know, but I still believe. In those moments you are walking the path of faith, the path that leads to the supernatural. Faith is not a feeling. It does not require a strong emotion. True faith often shows up when you are at your weakest, when everything around you is uncertain, and when all that remains is my promise. You may have once thought faith meant unwavering declarations, but I want you to know that sometimes faith is simply rising again in the morning, even after a night of tears and doubt. It is praying again, though answers have yet to come. It is saying amen, not because you are sure, but because you choose to trust me over your circumstances. Do you remember Abraham? I promised him descendants as numerous as the stars, while his wife was barren and his body aged beyond hope. I did not grant his desire immediately, but I kept him in the waiting so his faith could be refined into conviction. And when he continued to believe, I counted it as righteousness. Genesis 1:5-6. You see, I do not seek perfection. I seek those who dare to believe. And when you believe, even when all things tell you to give up, you activate a portion of heaven's power on earth. Oh, my child, the miracle is not in knowing the exact day it will come. The miracle is that you keep obeying even when you see no reason to hope. That kind of faith without proof is what makes the impossible possible. Do not wait to see before you believe, for I always move in reverse. Blessed are those who have not seen yet believe. You do not need evidence, you have my promise, and the word from my mouth will not return empty. Faith is not the shout from the mountaintop of victory. It is the whisper in the valley where no one sees, where only you and I remain. It is where every door is shut, every option exhausted, and only one road remains, the road you cannot see with your eyes, only feel through surrender. And it is in that place where human escape closes that I begin to work. For when you have nowhere else to lean, you begin to learn how to lean fully on me. You may ask, but how long? I've believed for so long. I do not fault you for asking that, but I invite you deeper into a faith that places no conditions on time. For when faith is no longer bound to the clock, it becomes true faith. When you keep believing as the years pass by, you are not just waiting for something, you are letting me reshape you through the process. You are not standing still and waiting, you are growing. You are being refined. And what I am preparing for you is far greater than what you imagined when you first began to pray. Oh child, I know that waiting by faith is not easy. It requires faithfulness. It requires stillness of mind when all other voices scream, there is no hope. But listen, silence is not absence. It is the sacred stillness where miracles are conceived. I am not in a hurry, but I am never late. And if you keep your heart from growing bitter, I will do beyond all that you have asked or imagined. For I do not merely answer your prayers, I fulfill the destiny I wrote for you from the very beginning. So, my beloved, keep believing, even when you do not yet see. Keep walking even when the path is unclear. Keep sowing your prayers even when the soil seems dry, for not a single seed of faith falls to the ground without bearing fruit. It may not bloom in the moment you wish, but it will in the time I have appointed. And when that season comes, you will see what you once believed, not through weary eyes, but through eyes overflowing with grateful tears because you did not give up. My child, I see you fighting. Not a battle of swords, but a silent war within your mind where you brace yourself not to fall, not to let go, to keep believing despite everything standing against that belief. I see how you've tried to keep the prayers flowing even when your heart has run dry. I see the nights you weep in silence, not out of weakness, but because you've been strong for too long. And today I want you to hear this clearly. You are not alone. You have never fought alone. I, the Lord your God, am your refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Psalm 4:6-1. There has not been a single day of my absence, not one tear you shed that I have not counted. When you thought you were abandoned, that was when I was closest. You may not see me, but I have never taken my eyes off you. And with every step you take, my invisible hand upholds you. My breath strengthens you. My heavenly army stands guard behind you. My beloved, I did not promise you a life without battles, but I did promise you would never be alone in them. Not because you are strong, but because I am with you. I do not need you to be a perfect warrior. I only need you not to quit, for it is I who will fight for you. As I have spoken in Exodus 1:4-1-4, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. There are battles you need not engage. Just stand firm and believe and let me act. I know there are times you feel trapped in darkness, every door closed, every effort seeming useless. But that darkness is not where I abandon you, it is where I hide myself to sanctify your faith. It is the place where you learn to hear my voice more clearly. Not through crowds, not through encouragement, but through the holy silence between you and your Father. And in that stillness you will realize I do not need perfect conditions to reveal my power. I only need a heart willing to obey. My child, remember my promise. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Isaiah 4:1-10. You don't have to be strong to receive help. It is precisely because you are weak that I step in. And when you let me fight for you, when you dare to lay down your sword and take my hand, that is when the miracle begins. I do not only deliver you from what is seen, but also rescue your mind from the fear that has long burdened your soul. My beloved, behind every door that seems closed, I am creating a special pathway. It will not look like anyone else's, and it may not come in the usual ways, but it will be the best way. When I open, no one can shut. When I provide, no one can withhold. For I am not limited by budgets, circumstances, or numbers. I am the one who can command ravens, to bring bread, who parts seas, who makes water flow from stone. And for you I will do what seems impossible, not because you deserve it, but because I have chosen you. So, my child, even when the battle drags on and exhaustion rises, stand firm. Do not seek counsel from voices that feed your fear. Seek me where there is no deceit, no pressure, no conditions, only unwavering love. You do not need to be stronger, you only need to remain in me. I am your safe refuge, your timely outstretched arm, your never-ending source. And if today you find you have no strength to pray, simply whisper, I believe. You're still here, and I will take care of the rest. You are not walking alone. You never fight alone. I am the one who makes a way in the wilderness, who brings streams into dry lands, who shines light in the darkness. And if you keep moving forward, you will see none of what you've gone through has been in vain. It all bears witness to one truth. You have a Father who never left you even when everyone else did. And I, that Father, am still watching every step you take, making a way when you see none, preparing the reward for the one who does not let go. My dear one, I do not only go before you to make a way, I go behind you to shield you from what you cannot see. There have been moments when you thought you escaped danger by chance, but truly that was my silent intervention. There were doors that closed and you wept with regret, but now as you look back you realize it was my protection, not rejection. I do not only fight great battles, but also the quiet, hidden ones, burdens, slander, mental pressure, and the weariness of the soul. Every time you almost gave up, I held you steady, often in ways you didn't even notice. And my child, the day will come when you'll look back and realize the very place where you thought you were weakest was where I displayed my greatest glory. That fierce season of battle shaped the resilient soul you are today. The times you fought seemingly alone helped you hear my voice clearer than ever before. The battle didn't break you, it brought you closer to me. And the most precious gift is not the victory, but the intimacy between father and child, forged through every wound, every tear, every silent prayer in the night. My beloved child, if you've made it to these final lines, I know your heart truly longs for me, not just to receive something, but to hear me, to feel the love I have for you, unconditional, unchanging, not measured by success or failure. And that my child is the treasure I seek most, a heart that truly desires me, not just the blessings from my hand. You've walked a long journey. Some parts you remember, some you wish to forget. But I've seen it all, nothing missed. I was there in your joys, and I was there when you collapsed. I held your hand when no one else did. And I continually remind myself, this is my child created in my image, and I called their name before the world began. There is not a single step you've taken that I have not watched, not a single tear that has fallen without me holding it in my heart. You may have thought you were lost, that you made too many mistakes, that you were too late, too wounded to hope again. But hear me clearly, even in the very moment you felt farthest from me, I was closer than ever. Close not just to observe, but to embrace you. Close not just to correct, but to heal. Close enough to keep you from drowning in doubt and to raise you into new life. For I who began the good work in you will carry it to completion. I am never in a hurry, and I am never disappointed in you. I am Father, and I am more patient than anyone you've ever known. No matter how many times you fall, I am still here ready to lift you. No matter how many times you turn away, my arms are still open to receive you. My love does not shift with your behavior, for it never began with your worthiness. It began with my nature. And my nature is to love fully, endlessly, without giving up. Lift your head, my child, not because you are good enough, but because I have placed grace upon your life, not to cover your faults, but to heal them at the root, not for temporary encouragement, but for a lasting change in how you see yourself, not as someone just trying to survive, but as an heir to the kingdom. You were not born to shrink back, to wear out, or to lose heart. You were born to shine, to live fully, and to walk in the eternal plan I wrote for you from the beginning. I know the road ahead won't always be smooth. There will still be hard days, testing hours, and unseen battles. But never forget this. My child, I walk with you. Not behind you, not far above, but right beside you. I am the one who walks close, who whispers when your heart is overwhelmed, who holds you when your steps are shaky. And in those moments when you feel no one understands, remember, I not only understand, I once carried it all. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to achieve to be loved. My love is the starting point, not the reward. From that love, you are freed to live, not afraid of failure, no longer bound by your past, no longer limited by how others see you. You can live honestly, love deeply, choose boldly, because you know there is one place that will never reject you, my heart. And if you ask me, Father, is it still not too late for me? I answer, it's not too late, not even close, because I am the God who restores. I can rebuild from ashes. I can make a way in the desert. I can cause flowers to bloom where hope has died. And I will do it not just because you asked, but because I want you to be the living proof that I am alive. Not a doctrine, not a religious idea, but a real Father walking with real people, fragile, broken, yet chosen, loved, and destined for eternity. So keep walking, my beloved. You don't have to run, just step. Even if it's slow, even if you're trembling, even if you're unsure, just step. Every step you take in faith, I will uphold with grace. And one day you will look back and see, oh, I've come this far, not because I was strong, but because my Father never let go. From now on, do not doubt anymore. Just live, love, believe, fall, and return, because the house is always open, the arms always wide, and my heart always waiting. With everlasting love, I am the Eternal One, the God who never leaves. Thank you for listening to this message. Know this, you are not just an audience, you are chosen to live daily in the presence of God's Word. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any sacred message. Amen.